Hey drivers, Sunil here, and this is your weekly broker tip for Friday, May 26th, 2023. Just in case you forgot, I am still not an attorney and this is still not legal advice. So this week's broker tip is around, around the revised seller's disclosure form. Some of you may have seen the emails and updates from SCR and GJR that the state was revising the form, and so it's finally here. So this new form, or this revised form rather, goes into effect on Thursday, June 1st. So that's next Thursday, June 1st. So any listings that you have from June 1st forward, this is the form that the seller has to fill out. Your existing listings, the seller does not have to go in and fill out this revised seller's disclosure. They can still just keep the current disclosure. But any new listings from June 1st onwards. So the first big change that they did on this form is on page 1, where they have the instructions to the owner. They added this paragraph. It's not letting me highlight it. Oh, there you go. They added this paragraph about no representation. It just gives clarity to what no representation means, when it's intended to be used, and it also makes the seller aware that just because they select no representation does not waive their liability if they're aware or subsequently become aware of issues. So I think one of the problems was that sellers, for one, and agents didn't really understand the no representation column. Plus, some sellers were just abusing the no representation column, and they would use it when they really should not have been using it. So that's number one. If you go on to the next page, you'll notice the format of the form is different. They've just changed the look of it. Under section 2, they changed around the questions and they split them up a little bit so that it's a little bit clearer that, for example, when they ask about the year of the roof versus the year of the structure, repairs, modifications, etc. So you'll notice that difference. If you go to page 3 under section 4, they added this line that says, or other pest infestations, under the section that asks about infestation from either wood-destroying or insects or organisms. They want to make it clear to the seller that it's not just wood-destroying insects or organisms, but they're also asking about other pest infestations. So other pests would be, the first thing that comes to mind is rodents, so mice, squirrels, things like that. Page 4, page 4 they have some changes. So you'll notice questions 25, 26, and 27, they have expanded on the questions around flood insurance and issues from flooding, and they really want to make sure that if the seller has had any issues from flooding, that it's adequately disclosed. So for example, they added this question that said, repairs made to the property as a result of flood events that were not filed with private or public insurance during your ownership. So the takeaway from that is make sure your sellers are disclosing anything to do with water, because that's a big one that comes up. Page 5, I believe they added some language about vacation rental period, since obviously that's a lot more prevalent. So you can read about that in letter A. Don't think they changed anything else on page 5. And then on page 6, they added one more option under current status of property or factors which may affect the closing. So if the property is subject to any vacation or short-term rentals, so any rentals that are booked that are going to happen after closing, for one, the seller needs to disclose that information to the buyer, and there's a vacation short-term rental addendum that should be used, and then the seller should also check this box. And then on the disclosure addendum, I do not believe there were any changes made. I haven't compared this revised form to the current form real closely, but they did change the look around a little bit as well. So make sure, once again, this goes into effect next Thursday, June 1st. So any listings from June 1st onwards, make sure you're giving this document to your sellers. And if you have any questions, reach out. If not, enjoy the rest of your day and have a great weekend.